Hey Cancerians, hoping that you're all well. Welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're one of my amazing subscribers, thank you for being here. And if you're not, go ahead, hit the button, hit subscribe, it's free. Get your energy moving throughout the channel. Stay with us. Please note these are general messages. They will not resonate for everybody, so please take what does, leave the rest. And even if it doesn't resonate, these cards that I'm using are very good in the fact that they help us to maybe bring into consciousness something that we are not aware of. So there could be a message for you, and it's good to come in with an open mind, all right? Time is fluid, so maybe this is something that you've been through in the past, or it could be something that you're going through now, or it could be something you're going to go through in the future. So again, being open-minded when you come in. You can also check your moon, rising, and Venus placements, your sign placements for that matter, and watch the videos for those. They may resonate more. But I want to move more towards why I initially started tarot reading, which was to help us understand the inner knowings of ourselves. So these readings are going to be a lot more in depth. They're going to be a lot more focused on self-reflection or understanding why people do what they do so that we can grow and evolve. We are in the age of Aquarius now, which is about really taking on responsibility for ourselves, right? Wow, beautiful. Death, rebirth. So that's the first card that you have that's coming out. Cancers. My Cancerians, who I love so much. Also, feel free to drop comments. Let me know how this is, you know, if anything sticks out to you, or if something comes up that you never thought of. Okay. Beautiful. Ooh, very interesting. You've got quite a lot of energy here. And the first one being the Death Rebirth card. So that's card number 8. So, of course, being on a spiritual journey. But my eye is really going to this serpent and how it's wrapped around this egg. Why? I'm not really sure just yet. My intuition is saying that it's something about, are we staying stuck and protecting ourselves? And in that protection, that self-protection, we're not growing. But I could be very wrong. We'll see as we get further into this. This card speaks about endings and beginnings and cycles and transformation, transmutation, change and growth. Okay? So it speaks of letting go of the past and that the future is unknowable and that change is unavoidable and there is no going back. And it also speaks of allowing yourself to mourn and that death and rebirth is a gradual process. It speaks of shedding skin, perhaps the dark night of the soul, allowing innocence to be reborn, to focus on short-term future, and a change in beliefs, attitude, or behavior. So whether this is to do with you or someone you're dealing with, this could possibly provide some insight. The Death Rebirth card, it symbolizes cycles and change. And it's the death of the old, the beginning of the new, time to let go of a past and return to face a new and unknown future with the awareness that there is no going back. It's time to begin again, sometimes with nothing but memories, and at other times with everything external unchanged, but perhaps your mind has been so altered that everything seems different or strange or unfamiliar. It's a rite of passage. It's a time to pass from one stage or state, for that matter, of being into another, and to be transformed so completely that the person undergoing the change no longer recognizes themselves. It's about being this caterpillar that has become a butterfly. It's an irreversible process of transmutation, and that it states that change is complete. And the person that they were is forever gone, and they've been reborn. Life as they know it has changed. So perhaps that's why I was focused on this serpent here. Perhaps there could be some self-sabotage, not just with you, maybe somebody else. Maybe this isn't even applying to you. Maybe this is something that you're dealing with in terms, sorry, my dog's drinking water. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. So perhaps you're dealing with somebody who seems forever changed and you're wanting the old person back that you experienced something with. But we all come into each other's lives at a certain time, and we all connect at that time because there's something for us to learn in that chapter of our lives and their lives. So if somebody has changed to a point of no return, this is part of their maturity and their growth, okay? But it can be very hard because you're wishing for the old person back. And I say wishing because you've got this 7 of Cups energy here. Or perhaps somebody's wishing for you to go back to how you used to be. Or maybe even in this point in time, you've changed so much that everything just doesn't seem to make sense. And that transition is a little scary. Hence the unknown future might be leaving you in a state of confusion. But let's keep going. Change can inspire many little painless deaths and sometimes great deaths that are born of intense loss that must be mourned before we can face the future with excitement and anticipation once more. For example, the loss of a spouse or a family member, or the end of a long-term relationship, or even a career. Retirement and illness are just a few of these experiences, right? That can bring about a death and rebirth process. Ours is a perpetual journey of undoing, being, and becoming. And the death preceding rebirth can be quick and sudden or very slow and painful. In the process of dying, everything in life revolves around the death, right? So the pain, the suffering, the anguish, the loss, the guilt, the anger, and the fear. The pain can also be so real that it's debilitating. Fear can also be so paralyzing, right? That it halts all growth. Hence that serpent. It's like, I don't want to go through this pain again. But what's interesting is the paradox. That the more we run from the pain, something that we have to process, then the more we stay stuck and we're not going to grow and get past it. It will always continue to resurface and manifest in different ways because we haven't allowed ourselves to experience it. The beauty of it is that once you go into those feelings and once you go through that process, then it's done, right? So it has this potential, if it's fear, that becomes so paralyzing that it can halt the growth and has one withdrawing from life itself. We can cycle around and analyze, question, prevent our wounds from healing, refusing to accept that life has changed, and there is nothing that can be done to restore it to what it was. But we have to accept as well that that stage of life is over. So even if this is somebody else that you're dealing with, this could be what they are facing right now. There's only 2 choices: remain in limbo or accept reality, surrender to death, and be reborn. But the process can also be problematic in the fact that it's not an instant process. Sometimes before we can soar, we must also learn to fly all over again. Yes, our outlook can be positive, but the future is still unknown. Our beliefs have changed. Our perception and understanding of the world around us have changed. Our roles and purpose have changed. Our lives and state of mind and being are not as they were. We know what we're capable of, but first we must learn to adapt for that matter, to changes that led to the little death in the first place. This card is about renewal, regeneration, and new beginnings, like the seasons. We are bound by a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Like the planet we dwell on, right? We're going to experience seasons and stages, like the spring, summer, and autumn and winter. Spring is a time of new growth, summer a time of fruition, autumn a time of letting go and dying, and winter a time of dormancy and regeneration. Autumn and winter can inspire feelings of loss and fear. We fear death and change because we do not know what comes after. But the truth is, we do know. But we are so accustomed to life as it is right now here in the moment that the idea of anything different creates resistance. Again, that serpent that's sticking out to me. There is, however, no halting change. And just as we know and trust that spring will follow winter, we can know and trust that after death we will be reborn. It's just a gateway, is all it is, to a new reality and a new stage of life journeys. Okay? So for some of you, this has come up in the past, which means that you've grown and your life has changed and your body has changed and your mind has changed and your beliefs have changed and goals as well, and that you've transformed. But perhaps you fought change with every breath and fiber of your being. But now, in the present here, you have this Seven of Water, which is akin to the Seven of Cups in the original tarot. Speaks of confusion or daydreaming. So you could be in this point of daydreaming and missing the past and wanting it back, or this confusion and fear and resistance about what the future is going to bring because you can't see it in front of you. The key words for this card are knowing and trust and faith and surrender. Surrender and control, for that matter. Release, peace, certainty, and being passive. So it asks that you surrender to the flow of life and relinquish a need to control, and that all happens as it's meant to. The future will bring you what you need, not what you want. So again, this speaks to, being careful of our expectations. Sometimes what we want, and a lot of the times, isn't what we need. Control is also an illusion. Your influence on the future is limited. Yield and be flexible. It also asks for a gentle or a passive approach in whatever situation it is that you're dealing with. It represents letting go and surrendering to the flow of life and doing so with complete trust and faith. How hard is that? But this individual in this card is about relinquishing control over all relationships and outcomes and believing that whatever unfolds in the future is what is meant to be. They've worked diligently in the present, imbuing all they do with love so as to create a future that will bring what they need to learn, to heal, and grow. Now content and satisfied because this person knows they've done everything that they can sit back and rest, allowing themselves to flow into the next moment and task. When the need to control others arises, or a situation for that matter, it's born fear. Whether that fear is about losing someone or something that we love, which could have been here. It could have been such a trauma that, you're terrified to have to go through it again. Right? But that fear is about losing someone or something that we love, and of being alone, or maybe a simple fear of failure or missing out. We do what we can to maintain the illusion that we have control, but control is just that. It's an illusion. So even if we would like to believe otherwise, it's an illusion. We can make empowered choices, right? And work with due diligence and dedication. We can create the purest of intentions and be motivated by love. But the outcomes we desire will also be influenced by timing. And I know timing can be frustrating, but it is. But it's also circumstances and other people, both those close to us and those of whom we have no knowledge of. Because of this, we can have only a partial influence, and the rest is up to fate. If we try to exert more influence and control, we risk sabotaging our hopes and desires and manifesting an outcome that is vastly different to the one that we desired. How do you hold on to water? This is about water, right? And it flows through our fingers. The future is not fixed. It's fluid and shifting and so vast with infinite possibilities that it cannot be contained, so allow it to be. It also speaks of detaching emotionally and letting go of all expectations. Having faith, not investing in speculation, like what ifs, maybes, worries, or fears. The Seven of Water also comes to tell you that maybe it's time to take a deep breath and exhale. Perhaps you've set your intentions and are motivated by love and have done all that is necessary here in the present. And if so, then it is time to give yourself that permission to relax and let go. Just embrace a peaceful, receptive, and flowing state that takes you forward on the next stage of your journey. Your future is now in the hands of fate. The potential blockage here, and this did want to come out in reverse, is that it signifies an inability or unwillingness to yield and be flexible. But remember, that which does not bend will eventually break. It is better to achieve goals by being fluid. Water can find any crack, any opening, and use it to its advantage. If contained, it becomes still and peaceful, calm, waiting, and receptive. Yes, external forces can make waves and ripples, but when the force is removed, stillness and calm are quickly restored to this individual's situation, right? So release water from its container and it'll flow the path of least resistance, flowing around, over, under any obstacle in its path, and overcoming with natural ease and grace. But if circumstances have made you harder or made you don a protective shell, it's asking that it's time to allow the river of life to wash your emotional armor away. A gentle, more flowing outlook will serve you better. Soften your stance. Let go of your feelings of resistance. Be open to potentialities and be peaceful. Be like water and flow. And maybe this is somebody that you're dealing with. Perhaps they're not letting themselves. So, it's going to take time for them to adapt and understand this piece of growth and transition and transformation. In this future position, you've got the Two of Fire being the Two of Wands. And I think that ties nicely into what this is talking about. You're going to have a choice coming up. A choice of what are you going to do? What step are you going to take? Have you outgrown the world that you're already in? Are you going to take steps now to explore different avenues, different ways of being? Or are you going to stay stuck by this serpent and feel uncomfortable and feel just completely compacted and constricted? Which is, I think, why this is at the center of the read, like flow. You can't possibly know the outcome, but there's nothing wrong with trying and taking a step. This speaks about power sharing, mentorship, partnerships, equality, teamwork, mutual interests, ambition, and control again. So it talks about aligning yourself with another, a power sharing situation. Two heads are being better, of course, in a situation than one. A time for teamwork and cooperation. A struggle for power. Seek one who will teach much needed skills. An equal exchange for that matter, of energy. And someone who will help you overcome obstacles. So this could be another piece. Have you been so used to, I'm sorry, there goes the dog again. Have you been so used to doing things on your own, perhaps because of an ending back here, that you decided you're going to protect yourself? Maybe someone betrayed you in some way, shape, or form, that you're not allowing other people in to help you out. There's just this element of control and fear. I'm looking at these skulls here. But this card represents partnerships and to align with people who share. Paisley, one sec. I swear she only makes noise when I do readings. She just doesn't like me not paying attention to her. Crazy dog. But yeah, it's about aligning with somebody else who shares your goals and visions in order to make an idea a reality. So it symbolizes this power sharing situation where two people with mutual interests work together, because together they have more chance of success and achieving their ambitions than they would have if they worked alone. So this teamwork, working together in a harmonious way, a division of labor perhaps, is natural and organic, right? As each has different but equal strengths that, when brought together, create a stronger and united whole. It signifies an equal exchange of energy where both parties derive the same reward and satisfaction. It asks, do you have a goal or an outcome that you wish to manifest but cannot accomplish without assistance? If that's so, this card appearing represents an opportunity to work with someone in a collaborative way that may allow you both to make thought a reality. And whether that person comes to you as a mentor who, by working with you, can teach you much needed skills, or a partner who works with you to have half the workload and make it easier for that matter, your shared vision and mutual interests are going to help you to overcome the obstacles you have found in your path that may be preventing you from moving forward, hence feeling stuck there. It's a time for teamwork, and in this situation, the two heads, again, as I was speaking to, are better than one. And two pairs of hands as well, of course, make for a lighter workload. So a blockage possibly can symbolize a struggle for control and power, which these cards have also talked about. Perhaps there's currently an unequal exchange of energies where one is vying to be quote unquote the boss instead of an equal partner. And if so, this is an imbalance that needs to be addressed, or all of the hard work may prove to have been for naught. So it asks, take a look. Are you doing all the work while your partner sits back and reaps rewards, or even a colleague for that matter? Or is it vice versa? And if so, ask yourself how much you wish to be in charge and take the reins of control. Is there a genuine need because one or both of you have deviated from the path that you both agreed upon? Or is the desire for control pure, like coming just from your ego, right? So in any case, now's the time to sit down and address any inequalities within a partnership and determine whether you both still share the same goals and ambitions. Okay? So I feel like if some of you as well suffer from anxiety, it could be kicking up to a point where you're trying to control a situation, or somebody you're dealing with is. In that case, you're going to have an opportunity here coming up where you can sit down and say, look, do our goals align? How do we do this? How do we share responsibility? Or perhaps you're going to have to make this decision, and whether you're afraid of something ending, hey, the chapter's done and it's okay. And the second we release that's no longer working or manifesting our goals and desires, that's when growth takes place. That's when birth happens. Look at that beautiful egg and the light in it. So I really get this feeling like I did from the beginning of some sort of restriction that might be holding you back or somebody else. And if that be the case, there's going to be an opportunity to let fears go. Let fears go and go with the flow. And also allow others in. Maybe somebody has hurt you in the past in some way, shape, or form, whether it be work, bullying, relationships, family, whatever be the case. But the thing is that if we understand the paradox of life being people come and go, then we can be in the present and take what we need from the moment instead of trying to hold on to something. And then paradoxically again, is that life never ends. So if something is not here in its physical, if something is not here in the moment, not in front of you that you can touch, if it's intangible, it doesn't mean that it's gone, because we are all energy. So if you're afraid of moving on or letting others into your life, it's asking that you don't be. You will meet your person again someday if it's a loved one who's passed on, for example. Let someone else in, okay? It's never an ending. It's never ending. It's only ending in the physical, but even the physical is temporary. So focus on here, now, what can you create? And what chapter? Look at the light you've got, Cancerians. Even do these not look the same? Wow. Let's see what it says. Within the transcendental realm of your soul, there are endless universes. Didn't I just say that? Each inconceivably vast and at the same time inconceivably small. Paradox. Even what is this saying? Even in the tiniest particle of subatomic matter, there is endless expansion. Creation is a cosmic motion picture in which you are both the director and actor. Look within and express outwardly the endless waves of love within you. May your love embrace the earth and fill all creation. And this is very much it too. No more holding yourself back out of a need to control. Flow. Allow things to happen with others. Okay? There's so much potential. All right, you guys, like I said, I'd love to hear your comments or anything that may have struck you or how this is applying to your situation. And all in all, I'm sending you guys so much love, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy this journey within and without. Bye.